like we're good.
I noticed on Rumble the stream.
Did you fart, by the way?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I farted.
Yeah, I knew I could smell
I
something.
wanted to start this off on a good note.
Oh man, I think it's coming up from under the table.
Well, I know how to direct it.
What's the matter with you, man? Why would you do this to me?
I'm a pro.
Fuck.
Listen,
I'm nothing but good and kind to you, and you fucking repay me this way. The worst.
you should be thankful. All right.
Rough day, son. I had a rough
Yeah,
day.
you did. What's going on? What happened on your rough day today?
Well, let me tell you. Not only was it, well, it's Friday the 13th, right? So
Yes. Oh yeah, that's true.
it's already a fucking
Oh
day.
man, the freakiness that
Yeah. Well, so you don't know what I do exactly right now, but I'm general managing a shop, like an auto repair shop. And we got a lot of really high-end vehicles, like good stuff, like really, really high-end stuff. Modified cars, all this kind of shit. So we have right now, I think we have like 5 Corvettes that are all like kitted out and modified and shit, like some good shit. And I was moving one today, and yeah.
Oh wow.
I did something to one.
Let's see what happens, eh?
Well, we have a pylon set up at where this curb is, so you can see it.
Yeah.
And somebody moved the pylon, and I just trusted that the pylon was where it was supposed to be.
First mistake.
So yeah, exactly. So then when I'm in this Corvette and I'm going to make the turn, and I caught the bumper on the edge of the curb, carbon fiber bumper. Yeah. What do you think happened? Big fucking gouge in it. Yeah.
A couple grand.
I don't know how much exactly. I'm thinking a grand might do it. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
If it's
We'll
just
see.
a scratch, it's hard to tell, right? Because sometimes the pieces for a car like that, they're
fuck,
just
it's
absolutely
expensive as fuck.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do that, and then on my way home, I'm on the highway, and boom! I look over, big fucking chunk, but about that size. Literally, that's how big that
Yep.
big shatter in my windshield is.
Yeah, you show me pictures.
So that's gonna
that
cook
is
my
pretty
whole
accurate.
windshield pretty quick. Because it's like if you get a little stone chip or something, it takes a while for it to spread. This is like smashed through like the outside layer of the window, essentially. So it's gonna just spread.
You just gotta get a new windshield.
Yeah, it's
probably,
gonna spread
right
so
away.
fucking fast.
Or just get some duct tape.
Yeah.
Put that right on there.
The good news with that is I have a connection for glass that
There you go.
that it's, and I don't want to like take advantage of them anyway. I'll pay, but
Do you
it's
call
like
it the beach?
What's that?
Do you call it the beach? You just go and get a bunch of sand and
Oh yeah.
throw it in the oven.
Yeah. That's my connection. Imagine you could do that. You just put it on there and put a little like epoxy or something like that, and let the sun hit it. It just cooks it and turns it into
You could
glass
probably
for you.
do that actually. You could probably make your glass, molten glass, pour it on there. It'd look retarded, but it'd probably hold it. It'd probably work.
Well, I'm guessing
for a little bit, maybe once the winter, because it's all like the actual windshield is like a lot more complex than just some molten glass.
I don't know, man. We should try it.
Yeah.
We should chemistry.
Get like a dummy car and see if we could fix the windshield with just some sand.
Yeah. So today was a day.
Today's a
Whatever.
Friday the 13th,
When it-
man.
yeah.
You should have just stayed home.
Yeah, I guess.
Really.
It's funny because, like, other than that, the day was going okay up till about 4 o'clock when that first thing happened, and then what are you gonna
One
do,
thing
man?
after another.
What are you gonna do? It was
You
on,
could be
when I was
better.
driving. You know when you're defeated.
You could be better. Yeah.
I get it. I should have been better.
Yeah.
When you're driving, or when I was driving, I mean, and that happened. You know when you're like defeated about something? That's basically what it was. It
You're
hit,
like,
and I looked over.
Of course.
I just shook my head. I'm like, all right.
Of
That's
course.
where we're at.
You
That's
know.
where we're at today, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who knows what else is going to happen to you today?
I don't know, man.
You got critters living upstairs.
That sounds like it, eh?
So,
Sounds like there might be
gotta-
a critter up in
yeah.
there.
So-
So a squirrel got to die.
Squirrel, chipmunk,
Whatever the fuck it is. I'm
Rat.
thinking it's a squirrel.
possum.
The reason why I
Who
think
the
it's
hell
a
knows?
squirrel is because before I did all the work to this place and it was a big open shell, I used to chase one out all the time.
So he came back.
I'm thinking he maybe found his way back
Yeah.
and he went, holy shit, this guy did some renos.
Yeah, he's like, I'm moving in.
Yeah, this guy did renos and I'm going to live here. If you're a little more quiet, asshole, and
Maybe you could.
wouldn't even know you're here.
Yeah, but
But you start making noise
yeah,
and you're uninvited, you're not paying me.
exactly. You got to start charging him nuts. Charge him nuts to stay here.
So, on this weird Friday the 13th, what are we talking about?
Well, we got some stories. Let's.
We got some stories.
There's some news. There's been some stuff in the news. We got this Elon Musk here tweeted earlier today. I believe it was today that the Twitter deal is temporarily on hold pending details supporting calculation that spam/fake accounts do indeed represent less than 5% of users. So this is basically like Twitter maybe defrauding shareholders by lying about their, and so as part of the deal,
I have a feeling it's this was kind of orchestrated too, right? Elon knew that this was potentially a thing, and he thought, look, either I buy Twitter, turn it around, and I'm able to make money. I'm able to make an investment or return on my investment.
Shares dropped to below what Elon initially bought at in pre-market trading. I think it bounced back.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. And if he does that, or he goes, "Hey, I can put this backdoor clause out of it if they have more than 5% bots."
Yes,
there is a
$1 billion fee. For either party to back out now. So that's Elon Musk is a guy that can afford that, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's not even that. I'll bet you. So if they're misrepresenting,
that's true. There's a whole nother layer if they're actually committing fraud. Way that. I mean, some people could go to jail.
Yeah, that
as a result of
that
this.
whole.
Not that
that whole contract would be null and void.
Probably right.
Like it's realistically, if you're in breach of the contract.
Yeah, hold on. Here's the company that you were presenting. Yeah, and yet people would actually probably go to jail if they found it that's true.
Does anybody go to jail anymore?
I know that's the thing. It's hard to say.
If we were in the 90s,
but it's like technically
they should.
When you're defrauding Wall Street, they're not worried about like you or I who might buy Twitter shares, but there are some big institutions that hold shares that, unless they're like in on it, unless there's like a big grand conspiracy to create fake accounts, they'll probably be pretty pissed if they find out that Twitter has been lying.
I would say now, like with just the way everything goes with that kind of thing, like this wink wink nudge nudge type bullshit. I would say now that anybody who's investing in Twitter, like a big like the Goldman
with
Sachs,
social media,
stuff like that, like big institutions investing, get to look behind the curtain. Like they will tell them, this is bullshit. Like, and they don't really care. They're like, hey, look, we know,
because it seems to be a more about politics and more about framing narratives and deciding what people get to talk about or what people get to see. That's what you see, right? Like fucking with Jeff Bezos talking about the Washington Post. Why do you buy the Washington Post, Jeff? Oh, because I think it's important who the president is.
Yeah.
It's like, that's weird, but that's
weird.
Seems to be what's going on.
I like the way you said that.
Sure.
That's weird.
That's a little weird. Yeah. It's a little weird. A little sketch.
Jeff, that's not really the answer we were looking for.
Yeah, we're looking for something a little bit more philanthropic, maybe.
Maybe you were trying to make.
Laptop's frozen.
What?
Our cameras are frozen on the screen on the laptop.
What the fucking?
But the timer's still going. Are we still moving on?
I never know. We're always. No, we're going again. I don't know. Who knows?
It might have just went black for a minute. No, I don't know.
No. Well, listen, we're not sure what's happening.
Yeah,
we're talking.
It seems to be working.
We're talking about Elon again.
Yeah,
we're getting blasted right away.
Yeah. So also in related news, we got Donald Trump coming out and saying this is like the most Trump thing to say in regards to this situation. He says, there's no way Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter at such a ridiculous price, especially since realizing it is a company largely based on bots or spam accounts, fake anyone. By the time you get rid of them, if that can even be done, what do you have? Not much. If it weren't for the ridiculous $1 billion breakup fee, Elon would have already been long gone. Just my opinion, but Truth Social is much better than Twitter and is absolutely exploding. Incredible engagement. So not only is he plugging...
It's the best ever.
Not only is he plugging his Twitter alternative there.
Yeah.
He's kind of making some business points.
Yeah. That's true.
Because here's the thing. I think that Elon is probably much more the kind of guy who's just like, okay, how much is it? Can I afford it? Here's a check. Trump's more like, how much do you want? Okay, how about this much? You know, the negotiator, the art of the deal. So it's just funny.
All right, let me see if I can
because he probably
let me see if I can get a bunch of backers to go ahead and give me the money because I want to put my own money in it. Because if I did, it would just be too much. So it's gonna be great. I just put a bunch of words together, just smashed them together there.
Yeah,
in a weird Trump voice.
In a weird Trump voice, as he does it, it's kind of cool that he said that. It's kind of funny. It's not cool. It's hilarious that he said that.
Yeah.
He talks about True Social. To me, I don't know if True Social is going to be anything. It's weird.
I won't be.
It seems to be gaining traction, but at the same time, there was a wait list at first, which is like that's a terrible way to start a social media company.
It sounds gay too, though.
True Social. Well, especially since they have a pretty strict censorship policy. Like, it's worse than Twitter, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you doing, man?
No, man. You either have the town square or you don't.
Oh yeah, and it's not something that you can't just create town square.
Yeah.
And build the app, and then everybody's gonna go there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Where it's gonna be convenient.
Things got to be cool and easy to use and all that, right? Like,
or addictive.
Or addictive, yeah.
Right. So like, who knows what role the addictive nature of Twitter and the algorithm kind of pushing certain things, like things that specific to you, things that make you angry, so that you engage with them, because you're more likely to engage with things that like piss you off than things that make you happy for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know, it's weird. It's the human condition. But
yeah,
Twitter's first in, right? First in
first
at that
in, best
type.
dress.
Yeah.
And like, they're killing themselves, but at the same time, like, yeah, people's minds are right when they think, okay, let's build another Twitter, because then we can actually have that forum for debate and dialogue. But at the same time, now you're dividing it up, and now it's harder to get that information. And you got people over here, people over there, doing all different things, and I don't know. Eventually, there's just going to be like 7 different echo chambers for whatever your political leanings are.
Yeah, that's the whole problem. It's you can't just go somewhere and just hear general information anymore. It's kind of like, oh no,
it's all curated.
Yeah, this is my view. So you want to hear my view? Okay, you're gonna come to my channel or my outlet or whatever. Oh, I don't like that, so I'm not gonna listen. Like, it's not like It would be better, obviously, if there was something where you could just go, oh, there's whatever. There's Young Turks. Man, I don't really particularly like them, so I'll just skip them.
Or it'd be better if a lot of people are watching the Young Turks, so the Young Turks show up on your trending feed. And then you can decide whether or not you want to watch it. And you'd be like, oh, a lot of people are watching this, I'm going to click it. Not the Young Turks shows up in your trending feed, but you see they only got 1,000 views on the video because the algorithm is pushing them because they have the right politics. Yeah. Or like CNN. They won't get any views, but they'll be on the front page. It's like, go back to the old days. But you know why they did it? Well, one of the reasons that they started to do it is because Minecraft took over. You know, there was that era of YouTube where everything was Minecraft videos, and then it was like, I don't know why, but just everybody was watching Minecraft videos. Everybody was making Minecraft videos. They were just crazy on YouTube, and so that YouTube started to tweak the algorithm, because we're like, well, we want to be a little bit more than Minecraft videos. But it was like, no, I want Minecraft.
Your top 20 videos are all Minecraft.
I mean, there was a time that was pretty much it. You'd have like whatever the latest artist music video that came out is, and then you'd have Minecraft videos.
That's hilarious.
It was such a wholesome time. Yeah. I think the world was a better place when Minecraft videos dominated YouTube.
I
want to bring that back.
Yeah, I just like it free. I just like it like
free and open.
Don't just keep sending me videos because you think it falls in the vein of something I'm interested in. Just, how about the most popular ones, and then I'll take a look.
Well, I like the idea of a personalized algorithm, because then you'll see things that you would never see.
I think if you could choose it, like, I think if you could just sort of say, all right, like, here's this setting, I want personalized algorithm.
Oh yeah. You have your page,
and
then you have like the trending page. Yeah. That's how it used to be, right? You'd have like your recommended page where it would just recommend videos based on what you watched, and then there was just a general, like, what is everyone in general watching? Yeah, you know, that was much better. That was, in my opinion, probably like the golden age of YouTube, when it really
and it would make holy shit, man. You imagine you would make viral videos, super viral videos.
Yeah,
like, do you remember the one where
just Charlie bit my finger? One of the early ones.
Joey bit more finger.
It's just insane how many views that got. But that was organic. That was natural.
Yeah, there was one where Walk Off the Earth, this group, they're actually from Burlington, believe it or not. They played Somebody I Used to Know on one guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I think so.
And there was I don't even know how many million views. It was 150 million views or something on it?
Yeah, I think they did a couple of those,
but that turned them... Oh, yeah, they did.
That became a trend.
But it became a trend of people doing that. But that made them something.
Yeah.
That actually, blew up their popularity. So they actually, it created them... They turned them into something. And they're a good band. They put good music out, right? So
yeah.
I'm glad that happened. I mean, if it was just a garbage... one-hit wonder, and then all of a sudden they put music out, well, they would just fizzle out the same way. But this gave them the platform to get started, right? People got to know who they were from this funny viral, or this cool
Justin
viral
Bieber
video.
started out on YouTube.
Right?
That was the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. We get some pretty cool shit from that. Even, what's his face? Shawn Mendes. Same thing. He started out on YouTube.
It's much harder to do that now.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's so much smoke out there.
I don't think you become PewDiePie anymore.
I don't think so.
I don't know that there's anybody starting today that becomes PewDiePie.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know. You're right. I think you're right. The golden age of YouTube is kind of past us.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
That's been long gone.
Yeah. Well, the golden age of actually probably the golden age of
the internet.
The internet, essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
The internet's kind of become now this.
It used to be this free open place.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Wild West, which was cool.
You'd be connected to whoever you wanted all around the world. You could share your opinions. You could discover communities. Just literally anything.
Yeah.
Literally anything. Any niche group you could go and join. If there's a weird thing that you were into, and it doesn't necessarily have to be porn, but there was a lot of that. Most of the time it was. But any weird little thing that you were into, you could go and you could find a whole bunch of people who were also into it, even if it was super super rare, super uncommon, and it connects these communities. And that was, I don't know, that there's something awesome about that.
Sad, man. It's gone.
I know we need to create the new internet. Well, people were talking about the internet 2.0. Which is the new phase of the internet. It's not a new internet, but it's this new phase where everything, including your clothes, everything you can imagine is connected to the internet through some chip. Because eventually it'll be cheaper for them to do that than to not do that. No, the metaverse would be VR.
Well, I'm saying, but it would feel
I think, the internet 2.0 would probably pave the way for a kind of
an immersive metaverse. Essentially, you're in there, and then everything you're doing is virtual, but it's all, it's virtual everything, virtual life, essentially. You go in there. Did you ever watch Ready Player One?
Yeah, but I fell asleep when they got the second key.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
So I didn't finish it.
I read the book, and I liked the general premise. I did like the book better.
That's a weird one because it doesn't have a happy ending, right? Yeah. They win control over the VR world, but society is in total shambles still. They don't do anything to help the world.
It's funny, people say that it is kind of cheesy. I forget what comedian was saying that about when somebody says, I think it was actually Rogan. He was talking about when people say, oh, you need to read the book. The book is so much better. It's no, it's not, stupid. There's pictures in the show, right? But the book for that movie was better. I found they butchered certain things with the movie compared to the book, but
here's the thing about book being better than the movie is usually they are because they have there's more detail. So if you're talking about a more fleshed out story, it's better. But is it more entertaining than sitting down for 2 hours?
No, of course not.
Obviously. You know what I mean? It's a whole different.
It's a different. It's
a stupid thing to say.
It's an immersive experience.
That's why it makes
when I say better, I mean the story itself was better. They took shit and kind of, I don't know, it seemed like they focused on a couple of the wrong things when they should have focused on other stuff. It would have made the movie better. It would have made it less commercially viable, I guess, in a way. That cookie cutter commercial bullshit that they do with movies to try and hit all targets. You know what I mean when I say that? They do that with books where they'll destroy a book. They'll take more than they'll take a lot of the context out, and they'll spend more time on the fluff, because they feel like that's, oh, here's a bunch of an action scene. Here's 20 minutes on an action scene because more people will be engaged in the action scene than if you put a 5-minute action scene and 15 more minutes of actual character building or storyline building and all that.
I found interesting. Did you see the new Batman?
I haven't. I've heard such good things about it.
It's good. It's a good movie, but it's weird.
Yeah.
There's something weird
How long
about
is
it. It's 3 hours.
Yeah, see, fuck,
it's long.
What are they doing these 3-hour fucking things?
But there's like,
you can't hack it into 2.
It's a Batman movie, and there's not a lot of like it's more like he's a detective the whole time doing detective work. And there's a few, there's some action scenes, right? And there's some pretty cool action scenes that are pretty badass and awesome. But it's like most of the movie isn't that. And I was expecting so much more from a Batman movie in that regard, and it just didn't.
So did you like that better? Or did you think it was worse?
I wouldn't say better or worse. I think it's good on its own. I think it stands on its own. It's just weird to me. Like I would just say it's weird. It kind of rubbed me in a way that I'm like, okay, this is a weird feeling for what I expect from a Batman movie. But like I enjoyed it. It's a good movie. It's very like I don't know. Maybe it would have been better to do a similar movie, but just not using Batman. Just like create your own kind of character. But yeah,
you just think of Batman more of a vigilante type guy than a detective.
Well, but he's still vigilante. Like he's.
Well, but I'm saying,
and there's the whole cliche where he's like working with the police, but the police don't really want him working with. It's weird. Or he's like working with Commissioner Gordon, but that's like the only cop that's really on his side. You get that stuff. But it's just, it's much slower. And that is Batman, too. That's like the thing. I guess that's one of the reasons why it kind of still works, is because that is the character. But, yeah, there's something weird about it. If you watch it, you might understand what I'm saying. It's like, okay, this is weird. Like, good. It's a great movie.
What'd you think of what's-his-face, Pattinson as Batman?
He did good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
he
like
did a good job.
When I heard he was doing it, I was like, really? This fucking guy?
He did a good Batman. That's what I thought, too.
Does he look jacked at least a bit?
They don't really show him with his shirt off.
Oh, so it's
there's like one scene
you see him in that,
where it's like
suit.
But it's like shadowy and like he doesn't look like Ben Affleck looked.
Yeah.
He's not like that.
Ben Affleck got decently jacked.
Oh
to play Batman.
Oh,
he did a pretty good job.
The thing about Robert
there was
Pattinson,
nobody.
He was talking about like not refusing to take steroids for it.
There was nobody that did
why
more.
They didn't have a lot of like that kind of.
There was nobody that looked better than Bale. Christian Bale was fucking jacked. When he played Batman, he was jacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he I thought he was a great Batman. His voice was a little off as in the Batman vein.
Yeah. It's kind of for the time though.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how old those movies were. I went back and I watched the first one recently. It was like 2005.
The first one, what? The Dark Knight?
The Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
Is the first,
that's not
the first
one.
It's the first of the trilogy.
Yeah.
The Nolan trilogy is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I was gonna say
the other ones are different. The other ones are different. You go back to Adam West Batman is super cheesy.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying like even like when George Clooney and Val Kilmer played.
But you see like all of those had like their cheesy elements.
Yeah, they were all cheese. Yeah.
But
Michael Keaton was pretty good. Or Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton,
It's Michael. He was a good Batman.
Yeah,
but he was more of a chill Batman.
I haven't really seen those. I don't know. I feel like it ruins Batman because the Bale movies were really
I like Christian Bale the best. That was my favorite.
They're just really great movies.
Yeah.
But I wish they did a Ben Affleck standalone. I feel like that would be...
you like Ben Affleck as Batman?
I like that version of Batman.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to say whether I like Ben Affleck as Batman because he isn't never really the main focus of a movie. There's always...
I liked him as Batman. To be honest.
I like that
version.
version.
To be shit.
I like that version of Batman, the dark, the gritty, been through the ringer already. Like, man, I love that warehouse scene in Batman v Superman where he goes in there and he's like, fuck, he's like killing people.
Yeah.
Like that's probably, in my opinion, that scene is the most badass Batman scene. Period.
Yeah.
But then people are like, "Oh, Batman does the kill." Yeah, but I really like it when he gets pissed off and he breaks that guy's arm. I like that.
He's supposed to be there. Well, there's two different Batmans. Like, I'm not a comic guy, but I've heard from comic people that there's different Batman. There's the Batman who's like from like the early times. Apparently, was like more of a crime fighter, but he he wouldn't try and hurt people and stuff. But then there's the Dark Knight, and he
Yeah.
would fuck people up.
Yeah.
He was more like a
Because
vigilante.
it's like these people deserve it.
And he'd kill people and shit. Apparently, like in the comics
That
and
was,
stuff. I never really read.
Oh yeah, that's what they were showing in the Batman v Superman. Like one of the opening scenes is like one of the cops are like investigating a place and they find the guy. He's like tied to a radiator. And he's like scarred and with the bat symbol, right? And then but the reason that that's so fucked up is because when they take him to prison, they kill the people with the Batman scar in the prison. So it's like he's marked for death. He was quite literally judge, jury, executioner.
Yeah, he's marked for death.
It's like very, very, very dark. But then you find out like, oh, maybe that guy deserved it because he was like, I don't know, he's like trafficking people, right? I don't know if you saw that movie.
Which one was that?
Batman v Superman.
I did. I don't remember it that well though, but I did see it. Yeah.
I like a lot of people. A lot of people really don't like that movie. I liked it.
I don't know. I like elements of those movies.
I really enjoyed, genuinely, Henry Cavill's Superman.
So do I.
And people say it's terrible.
But you know what I didn't like? I didn't like the first Superman when he fought Zod.
Man of Steel?
Yeah, like the whole Zod fight. It went on for like a half hour.
Yeah.
They destroyed buildings and all this shit. I was like, holy fuck, man. Like, okay.
But it does, at the same time, it really does. They needed to do more with that universe. Because if they did more with that universe, that movie is a lot better.
I thought the first half of that movie was great.
It shows that. Well, it's a great like character building movie for Superman
for the first half. Yeah, for sure.
But that fight, if they did more with that, more like Justice League movies, that first movie I think is a lot better just because it shows the power of Superman. It shows just how insane this guy is and like the stuff that he can do. It really shows it off.
Yeah, you know what I hate about it?
But it doesn't work because it's just
you know what I hate about it? This is what I hate about it. It's the whole like punch him and he goes flying through like 2 fucking buildings.
Yeah.
If you were a fucking Superman and you're Zod and I'm Superman and we're fighting, chances are I've got a hold of you. I'm gonna put you against the ground and I'm gonna fucking try and break your skull with my strength. I'm not gonna punch you so you go flying fucking, a mile away.
But it looks really cool when they fly
that's what I'm
through,
saying.
like 3 skyscrapers.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
but like I'm saying, right?
For the first 5 minutes, it's cool.
Wouldn't it be better
for 30 fucking minutes? It's irritating.
If they built up that universe much more like the MCU, that first movie is so much better because now it's a demonstration of what Superman is and the power that he wields. Yeah. And then you have all these other movies that could cut. You don't need to do so much. You can do littler things here and there to sort of show this stuff. But because they didn't, it's less.
Imagine how dark it would have been. Imagine how dark they could have gone. How he grabs Zod and they're both like fucking like using their strength as much as they can to like destroy each other, and then grabbing and like sticking his finger in his fucking eye and shit. He's like tearing his fucking finger off or some shit. Like just a brutal fucking you know what that fight would actually be like.
Kryptonians.
Because it's just like if two people that are fighting to the death and they're fairly equally matched. That fight's gross. Like that's not what you watch. Not clean. That's not like a UFC fight you watch and shit like that. You see a UFC fighter or 2 UFC fighters that are evenly matched fighting on the street. It does not look like a fucking UFC match like you would see in the ring or in the octagon.
Yeah, because the ring it's a demonstration of skill. It's a sport.
Exactly. You're trying to be, you're trying to
real.
You're trying to excite the crowd.
Ultimately, you are trying to kill your opponent,
but you're entertaining too.
Yeah, but there are very clear guidelines.
And you have a guy right there, or gal.
There are more effective ways.
Who's gonna jump in and stop it.
Yeah, exactly. And there are more effective ways to kill a person that are much less. They just require less skill.
So, have you ever seen Saving Private Ryan?
Yes.
Remember the scene
a while ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a scene where the one guy, sorry, spoiler alert.
I think it's old enough.
Yeah, I know. If you haven't watched it by now, your own fucking problem.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched it and you don't want me to spoil it, you might want to pause or stop the feed here. Anyways, so there's a part where they run into a German guy and instead of killing him, they let him go, right? So then later on, that same German guy picks up a gun and carries on, and he goes back to fighting or whatever, right? Instead of just like leaving the army. They run into him later, and the one guy who wanted to kill him ends up getting into a battle with him, like a struggle with him, and they've got a knife, and the one guy, the American guy's got the knife, and he's got like the upper hand, but then the German guy ends up turning it around, or whatever, and he's like, and the American guy's clearly beat, like he's clearly too tired to fight back, type thing, and he's like, so as it's getting turned around, he starts begging, he's like, please don't, and then he stabs him, right? But he's like kind of like slow when he's stabbing. Yeah. The scene is gross. Yeah. The scene it'll make you kind of sick to watch it because there's so many levels, right? You watch it and you go, had they killed this guy earlier, this wouldn't happen. So he was right to say we should kill him, but at the same time, morally wrong because you shouldn't kill, you know what I mean? But then he ended up dying for it, and in the most gross sort of way, right? And then begging for him to not do it. Like it added all those elements to it.
I think what I'm thinking of is do you remember American Sniper?
Vaguely. I know the movie. Yeah.
I think this is from that movie. I could be describing a scene from a different movie, but there's a scene where he's hand-to-hand combat with I don't know, like a Taliban guy or something, and they're fighting, and the Taliban guy gets on top of him or something, but like they're still struggling, and he's kind of losing the fight, but he reaches over and he picks up a rock and he gets him, and he just
bludgeons him to death.
Brutal scene. Yeah. Great scene.
Yeah.
But
anything like that.
Brutal.
But anything like that is on the end of realism.
Have you seen The Punisher on Netflix?
No, but I know it's very violent. I know it's violent.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's not just violent, it's one of the best superhero
because he's dark. He's quite dark, right?
Yeah.
Like
But it's good. Man, that movie or that show it'll make you tear up at points, and it'll make you like almost gag at points with the violence. But there's a scene where they're I don't know, they're in the Middle East somewhere, they're doing a mission, and they get sent in and they get overwhelmed by the forces, and the scene follows. So this is like, because the Punisher, he's a former military guy, he's like a Navy SEAL or something, but he was like special operators or whatever. So it's like this secret mission. It's a flashback to his time in the military, and they're there, and they get overwhelmed, and eventually runs out of ammo on his gun, and then he runs out of ammo on his sidearm, and so he just grabs his knife, and he's just running through guys with his knife, just fucking. Oh, it's incredible. It's just an incredible, brutal scene.
But it's like, so anything like that, like when you watch a movie and you see these sort of glorified action sequences, I would say, it kind of irritates me in a way. Like I like when they do it. Bourne, the Bourne series, were pretty good about doing that, but they did with the camera angles and shit too, right? Where they did, it was like, it was the one shot camera. You ever heard what that is? So you know how they'll do a scene where they don't cut anything. Yeah. So the camera's moving around with everything, so you feel like you're immersed in that kind of battle or that kind of fight. I like that if it's done right. Sometimes it's done really bad.
Daredevil does it perfectly.
Yeah, see,
like season one. With
certain movies will do it really well. Other movies you go, this doesn't feel right. But I like, they were kind of one of the first movies that did that, the long fight without it looking so like choreographed, right? It was just like,
right,
like these, like you're coming in and it's like it's just messy looking, but that's what a real fucking scrap goes like. Yeah. If you've been in enough scraps, I know, sadly I have been, they all go messy.
Right.
It's never this fucking thing. I've had a couple fights in my life where it's like one punch and it goes really well for me or whatever, and I got out of it very nicely, and it's like, holy shit, I feel like a tough guy. It's one punch. Most of them didn't go that way. I got punched once or twice or something, but generally it's like I'm one of these guys where I do this kind of thing. So I'll get a punch in the side of the head or the top of the head or something. That's gonna hurt your fist more than it's gonna hurt me. And And it's sloppy. Like, I get in there and it's hitting elbows. It's, you know, it's
Yeah.
all this kind of shit. But you wouldn't look at it and go, oh, that was a fucking clean looking fight.
Yeah.
But somebody got fucked up pretty quick, right? And it just comes from martial arts training and shit like that. That's what, when I'm watching that shit, I go, that's real. And I like it. I'm like, I like that because that has a sense of realism. If it makes you, when you watch it, go,
Yeah, so you should
like you feel
100% watch The Punisher.
oh, I will. Yeah,
100% you should watch it because it's all that.
Yeah.
It's all it's believable, kind of. Like, there are some scenes that are maybe a little bit extreme, but you can suspend your disbelief because you're like, okay, this guy's supposed to be like an uber trained military guy, so it's like, okay, maybe he can get away with that. But a lot of it is this gritty kind of fighting this in the ditches.
Yeah, there's a movie with what's the guy's name? The guy who plays Better Call Saul. Ouderkirk.
I don't know his name. I know him as Saul.
Ouderkirk. Bob Ouderkirk.
Okay.
I don't know what the fucking movie's name, what this movie name is, but he's a guy. He's sort of a regular guy. He's a tough guy, obviously, when you watch this fight scene.
Right.
But I don't know what the whole premise of the movie is necessarily. I need to watch this movie. But he's on a bus, and I think it's like 4 or 5 guys are like being jackasses or whatever, and I think they're bugging a girl or something on the bus, and he's just like, I think he's one of these guys where he has nothing to lose type thing, right. And he goes and he starts shit with them. He starts a fight with them, but he's happy to start the fight with him, and the fight is messy. I mean, it's a fucking messy looking fight where like he's getting hit all the time too, right? You can't fight 4 or 5 guys and expect that it's gonna go really well for you. Right. You know what I mean? It's going bad for everybody. Mostly the one guy fighting the 4 or 5, but it's a pretty realistic type of fight, but also like you can tell there's a little bit of choreographed type. Obviously, it's got to be choreographed, but it has a little bit of feel of choreographed. But it's as close as you can get a natural sort of fight, that one guy fighting 4 or 5 guys and kind of coming out on top. Even though he didn't really, got stabbed and he got...
Yeah, that's one of the reasons the Punisher is so great, because he gets into those situations, right, where he comes out on top, but like every other episode, he almost dies. Yeah. Like literally brink of death, like someone's got to revive him or do some kind of emergency surgery or something, some weird stuff.
See, and that's the cool thing to me. It's if it gives you that sort of ick factor, like factor, I think it's done well. Like, for example, a movie, Passion of the Christ. You ever seen that movie?
No.
I'm not a religious person, but if you sort of believe in like Jesus or any of that story as something sort of real, like whether you believe it's the Son of God or that Jesus,
I think there's probably something to it.
Well, yeah, no, and I do too. I do too. But I mean, even if you don't believe that end of it, the biblical end of it, or
you don't have to take it.
What I'm saying though is, you could at the very least, you should at the very least believe that it's somewhat of a historical event. That there was a guy named Jesus, whether or not he was the Son of God or anything, debatable. But
there almost certainly was.
What I'm saying though, that's what I'm saying. Like,
doesn't mean he committed miracles or anything.
And this is what I'm saying.
There's too many accounts.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the fact that. Whether it's the Son of God or not, doesn't matter. It's fucking gross. Like, just everything about it, and like knowing the backstory of like the Bible backstory adds an element to it. I was so disturbed with it. I don't ever want to watch it again.
Yeah, several people went through it, right?
Yeah,
we just got temporarily disconnected.
Oh, really?
Reconnected.
Oh, nice. Why does this keep fucking happening to us?
I don't know. It's a new
phenomenon.
Development.
So are we back? Yeah,
we're back. We're live right now.
Whatever.
It seems to have bridged.
As
long as it bridges, we're good.
Yeah.
Like last time, remember, it split up the YouTube view, but the Rumble view was fine.
Yeah.
This one I think bridged it. So I think we're good.
I don't know. We gotta find out why it's doing that. But
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I went on a tangent about that, but yeah, I just think if the more the realism in the movie, the better.
Yeah.
Like, if it just has, I think this if you go into a Marvel,
that's why I stopped sort of liking the Marvel
Me
movies.
too.
Not all of them. I
Yeah.
like Doctor Strange. Like I like those movies.
Yeah.
But
I like them for their.
the example that
what
I
they
would give
are.
is the first Iron Man movie is incredible, right?
Yeah.
But it's because it's grounded in reality.
Mm.
Like you can believe the suit. Like it's not like there's sci-fi tech involved,
Yeah.
but you can believe that that's a thing
Yeah.
that someone made.
Yeah.
And then you get into like Infinity War, and he like presses a button, and the suit just like forms around him. It's like, okay, this is just
Now we're getting stupid.
stupid now,
Yeah, now
right?
we're
And then like he gets punched, and the suit explodes, and then it just regenerates on him. It's like, okay, like I get that this happens in the comics and stuff, but it's like it really loses what that first Iron Man brought to the table.
I wonder if that's why Downey decided he wasn't going to do it anymore. I wonder if he decided he was like, you know what, this is
he
starting
made
to get a
$1
little.
billion.
I know what I'm saying, but maybe had they kept it a little more like the original Iron Man, a little more gritty, because I found that movie to be more gritty
Yeah.
than the rest of them. Had they kept it that way,
The suit felt like it had weight as he was doing stuff.
Yeah.
And towards the end, it didn't.
right? Like just even when he's in a cave and he's making it,
Yeah.
that was fucking cool. You're with him,
Yeah.
going, oh, like this.
Yeah.
And the whole idea that they were allowing him to do it because for their own reasoning, right, made it more believable too. You're like, okay, of course they're going to give him some leeway because they want him to develop. They don't know he's capable of making a fucking suit that's gonna.
They don't know what they don't. Well, obviously, like the whole reason they have him there is because they don't know how to make his shit.
His
so
shit,
they just
right?
Kind of have to.
They're like,
believe that
here, we'll
he's
give you
doing
what
it.
you basically need to make some stuff for us, but then he makes
Make
what
a
he
suit,
needs
and
to
it's-
make.
Yeah, it's just
which
a fucking great movie.
which was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like I love that. And then it was a little predictable to me. It's always a little predictable when you get the problem with like these kinds of movies, for like who the villain was. It's because you have two big name actors. That's always a giveaway for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, that guy's gonna be bad because that's what these movies do. So like it was predictable.
That's why you need no name.
Like a no-name guy, and like with a no-name sort of thing, job or something, but he's like pulling the strings behind the scene or whatever. Almost like The Usual Suspects. You ever see that movie?
No.
Well, Kevin Spacey. Again, spoiler. Sorry. Pause it if you don't want to hear this. Kevin Spacey's like this. He's one part of a crew of guys, but he's like kind of like the most insignificant one, if you will. But he turns out to be the mastermind of everything. This Kaiser Soze guy keeps being brought up throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, that's
And
an
he's
interesting
Kaiser
concept.
Soze.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't guess it until like the end. All of a sudden, they give it away at the end, and then like as he's walking away, he's got this limp. Then all of a sudden, he doesn't have the limp anymore. And it's like, he's fucking Kaiser Soze.
You're the guy.
Yeah. So it was really cool the way they did it, right? But these kinds of movies like that were like kind of the pioneers on changing the way they did movies like that. Like before, it was really easily predictable, and then certain movies do something that's so unpredictable, and then other movies try and copy it. Kind of like almost like Pulp Fiction or or any of the Tarantino movies. Like a lot of people try and copy what the Tarantino movies do. The feel, like you can watch a Tarantino movie and go, oh, that's a Tarantino movie. Like it has that feel.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of copycat movies where you go, is this a bad Tarantino movie? Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Who directed this?
It's like do your own thing.
right.
You know, you can implement certain styles.
Yeah.
But do your own thing.
It's pretty cool that he created a style
Yeah.
that people want to copy. That's pretty fucking cool.
That is cool. It's like the ultimate form of flattery, right?
Oh, of course.
Fucking.
Yeah, imitation's the highest form of flattery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't bother me at all. I'd be like, yeah, keep going.
I know, right?
I'm gonna make the best one.
I'm gonna criticize your movies,
Oh, yeah.
and then go ahead and make them better.
Yeah.
You know, like take that criticism. I'll show you what I'm doing. But
You need another one?
I could use another one.
I was gonna say, you're not even done yet.
Listen,
You usually beat me.
listen. You had a rough day.
I did.
It's understandable.
I did. Oh, it's funny because my brother texted about doing a fire and beers, but I've already committed to Chris. So it's like, but when he said that, I was like, oh, that would be pretty fucking cool tonight. But
It's a great fucking day for that
it's
too.
a great night
It's
for it,
so
dude.
nice.
Yeah.
Like, and it's starting to cool down a little bit now.
Yeah.
But summer cool down, where it's like stupid hot during the day, then it gets cooler. It's like more comfortable to be outside.
Hey, by the way, I just got a text from a number I don't recognize at all. That's not in my contacts. Right?
Right.
Hello, long time no see. How are you? I love this new trend, eh? So, are you part of this new trend?
No, I haven't gotten anything.
I
Like
can
that.
show you. If I went through my text, I could show you like a bunch of those. I get them relatively all the time, where
Really?
somebody will say something to me from a number I don't even know, and they'll be like, "Hey, it's been a long time. I haven't seen you in a while," or something like that. Like it's just phishing, right? But let's see if I can find another one.
I didn't.
Here's another one. Hey, what are you doing?
What the hell?
It's not anyone I know. It's
No.
just they're reaching out to try and find a number that's legit and then try and somehow fish information off you or whatever.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's the new thing.
Your number got into somewhere. I've been getting. Well, I'll get weird phone calls. I don't answer, but like one day this week, I got 2 phone calls throughout the like 3 hours apart from the same number from Manitoba.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously you know.
Like what the fuck? I don't know anybody.
No,
from
you know
Manitoba.
listen, you know a lot of people in Manitoba. Okay?
Yeah. No messages. That's why I don't answer. I feel like if you're calling me for a reason, you're gonna leave a message. So I'm not gonna answer. But
Yeah.
let's talk about this Elon Musk news. Well, we were already talking about Elon Musk news, but he tweeted. This is what he tweeted: "If I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing you." This kind of set the internet on fire. Because people are like, well, everyone starts speculating about the Clintons, and of course, you know, people are a little bit, you know, about the Twitter deal. They think that maybe there's some forces that really don't want that to happen, but I don't know. What do you
There's
think?
always forces
do you think
that don't want things to happen.
Do you think before I add more information, do you think that he's trolling, or do you think that there's maybe he has some legitimate concerns about his well-being at the moment?
I think he's
And
trolling.
that's why. Yeah.
I think he's trolling. Yeah, I don't think he has legitimate concerns. I think he always has concerns. If you're that, you know, if you're at that level, like you always have to be concerned. You'd be stupid to not be concerned.
So what people were pointing out is
And he's not
so. I mean, people were talking about the Clintons because obviously when someone is
kill
afraid
people?
of just because they kill people.
I'm only kidding. Then
Yeah,
that's not true.
Hillary,
don't ban
I
us.
know you've
Just
never killed
joking.
anybody.
Just killing. Killing people. What? No, nobody's killing anybody. Other than the Clintons.
Yeah. Okay. So, there's a testimony from the Russian military.
The Ruskies.
Basically, they tweeted out, and Elon Musk retweeted it, or they tweeted out in Russian, right, in Russian media, and Elon Musk retweeted it in English. From the testimony of the captured commander of the 35th Marine Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Colonel Dmitry Kormienkov, it turns out that the internet terminals of Elon Musk's Starlink satellite company were delivered to the militants of the Nazi Azov Battalion and the Ukrainian Marines in Mariupol, the Ukrainian city. It's like one of the I don't know. By military helicopters.
Damn city.
According to our information from the delivery of the Starlink equipment was carried out by the Pentagon. Elon Musk thus is involved in supplying the fascist forces in Ukraine with military communication equipment, and for this, Elon, you will be held accountable like an adult, no matter how much you'll play the fool.
What's this from?
The Russian government.
No, I mean, what article? Who's doing this?
This is a Fox News article, I think.
Fox News.
Is it Fox News? Yeah, Fox News.
Fox News.
It's just reporting what was tweeted out by the Russian
I don't know,
government.
but then they put a spin on it too, right?
Well, yeah, there's the whole article. I just picked the parts of the article that I didn't read anything that Fox says. I just read what Elon tweeted and what the Russians tweeted.
Yeah, just for anybody watching, we're not fans of Fox News or CNN. pretty much equally.
I like Tim Pool.
The only person I actually kind of like on Fox News, and I never liked him up until a couple of years ago, is Tucker.
Yeah, it's probably because Tucker's more just a guy sort of talking.
He went from what it seemed to be a fool to me.
I feel like Tucker Carlson is more like when you sit down with your uncle and he's trying to and he's just trying to explain what's going on in the world, and you might not always be right there with him.
Yeah,
but
he's so sarcastic about it, which is I find it kind of funny.
Right? It's good content.
It's good content. But I don't take it as a serious news reporting show. It's more of like an opinion piece based on what's happening. Like they do report what's happening, but they also put all the spins on it.
Yeah, but all of that's irrelevant.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go back
to this because it's like it is almost like the Kremlin is threatening Elon Musk personally, which opens up more ideas to like if Musk is rattling enough cages with the Twitter thing, maybe. This is conspiracy stuff, right? But maybe these dark forces within the United States kind of turn a blind eye to the Russians, maybe going after him covertly, because he's doing this stuff. Although, I mean, it just sounds like they want to prosecute him legally or sanction his companies in their country or something, right? To hold him accountable for what they perceive as I'm assuming what they perceive it as a war crime. It can't be a war crime. They perceive it as him aiding their enemy, and that's bad. But then he comes out and he tweets, if I die under mysterious. So it's like, is he joking? Because he's Elon Musk. This could be a joke, or being hyperbolic because the Russians kind of threw shade at him. Yeah, and, you know what the Russians are known for, right? Like it's just kind of adds up. Or maybe he's got sources. Maybe he's got people in the U.S. government telling him that maybe he should up his security, and maybe that has made him concerned enough to post a tweet. And it could be an insurance policy, right? Put that out there.
I think it's kind of.
But
personally, I think it's kind of like it doesn't. If it means nothing, it doesn't matter. It just turns out to be like something people will just react to. Mm-hmm. So. And if it turns out something does happen to him, well, holy shit! It's like, look, he tweeted. So he doesn't have to be right. You know what I mean? Like he just puts it out there, and it either looks like a joke, like he's trolling, or if something does happen, it's like he fucking knew something. So like he understands the statement is so open that anybody can just interpret it whatever way they want. It gets interpreted like well or as a joke. So there's no loss to him to put it out there, right?
No.
Yeah, so it
could be an insurance
I think it's
policy.
kind of a troll. I think it's kind of a troll in a way.
I think it's possible that it's a troll. It could.
He trolls. He does that on purpose. He does that.
It's weird.
It's a joke for him.
It's a weird joke to make, but it does make sense given the circumstances.
But for him, it always makes sense. There's always a chance that his haters will do something to him.
Yeah, but it isn't. He's obviously got insane security.
Well, sure.
Like he's a very important person.
That's not really going to stop.
Yes, it will. So like if he's at real risk, he's at risk from legitimate forces, not necessarily governments. But
you don't think that
if you wanted to kill Elon Musk, I don't think you could, no matter what you did.
Oh, I think that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't think you could, no matter what you did.
Well,
I think
I might not be able to because I don't really have a lot of resources. But you get a group.
But that's what I'm saying.
You get a group that has some resources, and they put like 10 people on it or something, and they all
right. So now you got a team.
That's what I'm saying.
You got a team of probably skilled individuals.
But that would be easy enough for them to do. Whether it doesn't matter what kind of fucking security detail he has, they could still do it. I mean, if people can get to the president, like Kennedy was shot in fucking broad daylight. But I'm just saying, but if people can do that, they could still do it if they want to. It's just they don't choose to. Luckily, thank God they don't choose to. If people want to do crazy fucking shit, they can do crazy shit. It's especially people that aren't, that aren't on any lists or anything. Like if you and I, let's say one of us decided to go fucking militant and weird, Well, it would come out of nowhere. Like, people wouldn't expect it. It'd be like, oh, fucking Tyler was a
It
normal
gives you
guy.
an advantage.
Yeah, Tyler's a normal fucking cat. All of a sudden, you go to a mall and shoot up fucking 50 people or some
I'd
bullshit.
get more than that. I probably.
I feel like I would too, but but you do something stupid like that, and it's like nobody would ever see it coming. But if you get,
But everybody that does it, people kind of see it coming.
all I can say, and
know
I've
what
said
I
this a number of times, thank fucking God, or whatever, that people that decide to do some shitty shit typically haven't been smart enough, I guess, or maybe evil enough to do it in the highest possible level. So, for example, someone like Timothy McVeigh, you know who he is?
No.
He's the Oklahoma City bomber. So he parked a van. He loaded up a van. This is in 90, whatever, some in the 90s. He loaded up a van with explosives, a rental van, parked it under this building and blew it up. And it fucking just destroyed this whole, like, it was a government building of some sort. And the worst part about it was the nursery in the building.
I bet you the conspiracy theories are awesome about that.
Yeah, maybe. But anyways, the nursery or the not even nursery, the childcare facility in the building was like, I think it was like the next level up from the garage. So a lot of kids bit the dust on it too,
Right.
whatever.
A
But
lot of kids.
had he been smarter about the way he did it, he probably could have caused a lot more death and carnage. Thank God he wasn't, right? Or for example, like, you know, these shooters and stuff, like these mass shooters. The one guy that in Vegas that shot out the window, I think he got like 40 something people or whatever. That's pretty fucking, I don't want to say impressive because that's the wrong word. It's pretty grotesque.
That's a weird one.
Awful at the same time. But what I'm saying though is imagine if one of these fucking douchebags got together with another fucking douchebag, or 3 or 4 or 5 douchebags, and they all went, hey, let's coordinate this bitch. Let's get this together. And they did something disgusting like that. It could be the death toll or the carnage could be a lot worse. I'm just happy that these people are on the spectrum, such on the spectrum of crazy, that they do it, and they're usually lone wolves. And they're not as smart, or maybe they haven't planned it out as well. So it, like, you know, a mass shooting turns into maybe like 7 people. And I know 7 people is awful, but it could be like 70 fucking people if this person were really friggin' prepared and did it better, you know?
See, I think, but then there's a level too of like, how prepared do you get? Like, you buy certain materials.
Somebody commented on something.
Yeah, is that asymmetric off? Is that art?
Oh, it's already.
Yeah, he said for the most part, it is amateurs that commit these acts. If you were to have trained tactician like a SEAL, for example, that would be next level body damage. And yeah, if you had people, if you had people that know what they're doing, they could really, really do a lot.
Yeah,
but they don't. And then the other thing is, what I was just trying to say is like, there's a certain level of getting prepared for these sorts of things to where, especially nowadays, you just instantly get flagged, right? Like, all of a sudden you're on the list. All of a sudden you got people buy. So like, maybe in the United States you can buy a bunch of guns and a whole bunch of ammo and stuff, but someone's watching you. And so if you make like weird moves, they're going to see, you might think that you're undercover. So like, oh, I'm going to take all these guns, load them up in this van, and then like, you know, this off-road vehicle, and like get off the road and drive through the wilderness. They're probably watching you, and they probably know where you are in the wilderness. Like, they're probably paying attention. Like, hey, what the hell is it? This is weird. Like,
I fucking hope they are, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like that they are. If they are doing that, I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, it's a bittersweet thing because they're definitely abusing that power, but they definitely have that ability.
And I agree. I hate the abuse of the power, but I do.
If somebody were to do that, you'd like to be ahead.
It's a weird fucking thing because, like, I would like if, for example, my daughter's, you know, she's been kidnapped or something, or she's, you know, somebody's fucking around with her or something, that technology let me know where she was and that she was in danger.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not afraid of technology. I'm not afraid of, like, the quote unquote nefarious under dealings, I guess, of technology and stuff, because I really don't care. I don't really have anything to like hide or any, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't negatively really affect me, right? That if my phone's tracking me or any of that shit, I don't really care. Like, I'm not an important person, But if I became really important, and
eventually it will. It's not so much about important. It's just the invasion of privacy without your permission. That's the issue.
I know, but
people talk about like they have like you don't even need to have this stuff anymore or to sign up to this stuff. They have algorithms that'll like prescribe you certain insurance policies based on the kinds of food that you buy at the grocery store. Yeah. They'll determine like how much care you put into like, I don't know, your diet or whatever. And so then they'll be like, oh, okay, this person's like cooking a lot or they care a lot. And so like maybe we'll give them a cheaper home insurance policy because they're they're more on top of stuff. Conscious? Well, or they're just more on top of things. So you might be like, okay, they're less likely to say burn their house down.
Yeah, but would that really bother you? Does that really bother you?
It bothers me to.
Is it just a principle thing though?
Yeah.
But why though?
I would rather you have the option to opt out of that. So like, if you no, you don't. That's what I'm saying.
Sure, but you do. But you don't have to have this.
You don't. No, why? Even if you don't have that,
well, how so?
They have data on you.
Well, if you don't,
it's crazy the amount of data that they get from just nonsense, from just being around people. They know things about you from like the recording device in your phone. That's why like.
Yeah, but how's that going to affect you though? How's it going to?
Eventually it's going to. Eventually it'll be like about the kind of insurance that you can get, whether you can get a loan for the bank or like whether or not you're paying more or less for certain types of insurance.
These are all things that I kind of agree with in a way because for one, like you're mitigating risk. Okay, so if I'm loaning money,
so you sign up for it. That's fine.
Okay, so for example,
I would rather like have like, okay, you're gonna pay your base fees for everything. You're not gonna get any discounts, or you're not gonna get any price raises, and we're not gonna invade your privacy. Yeah. Or we're gonna invade your privacy, and we're gonna determine what you qualify for all these things.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to like weird dystopian concepts like pre-crime. Like, are they gonna go in that direction? They probably will. They're gonna be tempted to at least.
Sure. No, you're right.
And there are a lot of people that are gonna be like,
"What? Okay, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. I love being the devil's advocate for whatever reason. If you're hiring, say, a nanny to watch your kid or something, and maybe it's a dude or guy, whatever, or a girl or a guy, wouldn't you want to know if they were like a piece of shit?
Well, yeah,
they're watching your kid, right? So if this kind of information can be used for stuff like that, like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. Or like lists that tell you where fucking pedophiles are and shit. I like that. I want to know where the fucking pedophile is. If Jimmy's a pedophile down the street, I want to know Jimmy's a fucking pedophile.
That's not the same as Facebook.
Sorry, anybody named Jimmy who's not a pedophile.
Facebook calculating when you're likely to take a shit because they have all this data about you.
Hey, listen, if Facebook calculates I'm likely to take a shit at 7:00, and for whatever reason I have something that helps me take my shit at 7:00, I'm all right with it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it should be fine. Like, I don't like the invasion.
It only becomes not fine when you're like an important person in some way. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, it gets weird.
If you're just a regular Joe,
I think it's more dangerous when you're a regular dude, because then you're more likely to be in a compromising situation where like they decide that based on some weird fucking trends or some algorithms, like, oh well, you're like, we don't like you, and based on these trends, maybe we're gonna say that you're more likely, maybe you are more likely to commit a certain crime, and so we're gonna. Again, that gets into the pre-crime thing of like, who knows where it'll go.
I get your point, but your point's mostly to me based on like principle, and sure.
I just think you should be able to opt out. You should be able to like put a cloak on, even if it means you get some disadvantages in society. I think you should be able to opt out.
You could essentially like remove yourself from society. People do.
Yeah,
that.
But then you're actually removing yourself from society.
That's your choice. If society's moving a certain way and you don't like it, well, you can remove yourself from the society essentially.
Yeah.
So like, as long as you have choice to do that, if you're told no, you can't do something. For example,
I think technically it is kind of illegal for you to remove yourself from society. I don't think you can do it legally.
Why? Yes, you can. Of course you can.
Well, where are you going to go? You can't go into a national park, and if you're not in a national
park, I'm saying,
park,
but you can be out in the country and kind of be like off the grid. You can set up. People do it all the time. They set up themselves off the grid essentially. Some people don't even use electronic equipment because they're worried about being on the grid in some way. Yeah. I mean, there are lots of people that do it. I mean, it's not really. When I say lots, I mean in relative terms. I'm sure on the planet there's a few million people doing that, which
Well,
is a lot of
hold on.
people.
Doing it on purpose or doing it because you do have.
Well, some people are doing it on purpose. Some people are doing it accidentally.
Like lost tribes. They're probably still undiscovered tribes.
Yeah, but what I mean though is when I say it, it's like I don't mind the tracking if it's not used, like if it doesn't negatively affect me. If it's giving me like, if it's sending me things it thinks I might want to buy. Fine, whatever, fuck, I'll just ignore it, or I'll succumb to the
but that's the thing about it, right? Like it's harmless until it isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, everybody just wants to make money.
The
mostly.
only issue is the principle, right? It is entirely principle. It's like they are taking data from you without your permission. I think that it should just be much more transparent.
Yeah, what's he saying? What's already saying now?
Oh, he said something else. I think Neuralink could be the gateway to tracking. We don't know the true motive of Musk, and if he is an elite. Well, he's definitely an elite.
Yeah.
The Twitter funding had many parties aside from Elon putting up $21 billion himself. It is akin to lobbyists contributing to a government campaign. Just my 2 cents, as they say.
Yeah. No, he's right. I
don't think Neuralink's a gateway to tracking. I think Neuralink's a gateway to like fucking full blown mind control.
Yeah, yeah.
Like who knows?
But he's right though. Like Elon could be the what do you call it? The supervillain in our midst, right? Like we might all be like, oh, Elon's great, and all of a sudden he's the fucking supervillain.
Yeah.
Like who knows?
He's done a good job protecting himself from that. That like the fact that he's been on Rogan twice and Lex 2 or 3 times. There's several hours of uncut interview of him, so it's hard. Like as Rogan says, like it's hard to hold a persona for like a long time. So it's easy. It would really be a like a shock if Elon was ill-willed.
Yeah.
Just because of like
I tend to agree. I don't think he is.
But it's like, but even then, it's like who knows? Like, do you have to be ill-willed, or do you just convince people, that you are, or does somebody else like, do the elites get cozy with Elon and convince him that like, oh no, this is the right thing to do over here by using all these.
He is an elite. He is an elite. He's just
Absolutely.
not. He's not just. He doesn't. It doesn't feel like he's part of the sort of woke elite.
He's definitely not woke.
But I mean, I'm saying he's like that particular crowd. He doesn't seem like he's a part of that.
But he is also the richest man in the world.
Right.
Right. He's been involved in government. He was involved in the Trump administration, although he did quit that, I think. But
I don't know. It's when you talk about Elon, he could. I just think Elon's the kind of guy that he's got so much money now, and he's figured it out. He's just figured out how to make money innately or learned it. So now it's like, what's the next sort of thing to do, right? Like I think for him,
I think he's just trying to help the world, right? I think he's trying to do whatever he thinks is right. Well, I think that's how he got.
I think that word is kind of like it implies or infers like he's some kind of real good guy. I think for him, it's almost like legacy. What can I do to better humanity, to further us our advancement? Not necessarily like help them, but to further our advancement more for him. So that's where
when
I
you
would
say better humanity, you're just using a synonym for what I meant when I said help the world.
I know, yeah, but I know, I get it. But I'm saying when I say better humanity, like or to like further us along,
Yeah.
Not even for the better necessarily, just technologically further along.
You don't think being further along technologically
could be worse.
Better?
Could be worse. Sometimes technology is the fucking detriment of humanity. Like sometimes when you dumb it right back down to like simplistic, people are better off.
Well, yeah, people are definitely better off, especially at the rate that technology is growing. But still, it has provided us this insane level.
I can't
of
agree.
luxury.
I can't agree more. I love technology for.
Plus, I do think it's a really good idea to become multiplanetary.
But some people love toiling.
And I think it's a really good idea to have electric cars.
Yeah.
Just because they're better.
Yeah.
Like not even for the environment, they're just better, right? A Tesla is just a better car.
It's a better mode of transportation. As far as a car goes, as far as a car goes, sure, it's a better mode of transportation in that regard. Yeah, is it a more fun thing to drive? Probably not.
Teslas?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
That's not what people say.
Anybody who drives a real vehicle and feels like the power, the difference of a real vehicle.
The acceleration of a Tesla,
the acceleration is crazy.
Insane.
The acceleration is crazy. Yeah. But what I'm saying though is the difference between like driving something that feels like it's just moving really fast versus something that feels like you're controlling its movement. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's a different thing.
If you drive like, let's say like a rear wheel vehicle, it's very, very fast, right? It's got a lot of torque. It's got a lot of horsepower. You can like that. The feeling of that car, like it's almost going to be out of control, is kind of the fun of it, because you're like, oh, I'm controlling this thing that's like on the verge of out of control. But I would feel like a Tesla would be like, it's almost like pressing a button and it's going to do a bunch of shit. And you're like, oh, okay, well, cool. Like, this is cool. I'm getting around fast and it moves fast and stuff. But
right. And it's a functionally better situation.
No, and I agree with you. That functionally better,
yeah.
Sure. But I'm saying like for the
and it could drive itself. That's a whole other thing.
Oh, yeah.
And plus, if you are talking about emissions too, we're far better off if like most cars are say Teslas, for example, and then and then you pull out your Mustang on the weekend to go for a nice to enjoy.
There's some arguments to like the whole idea of like Tesla being better for like the environment and stuff.
Yeah, but that's just because of the way that we generate electricity.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, so if you look at like
the methods we have to use to get like the materials out.
But
all of that's just a different piece of the problem to solve. Like, I mean, if we have more nuclear power, then boom, the energy's solved. And then I feel like if we had like fusion, I don't know how much power we would need, but it seems like the more power you have, the more capable you are. And so I feel like there's a certain level of like, okay, we have X amount of electricity. We could build an excavator that is electric that's better than a diesel excavator.
If you're talking about the elites, I think the elites don't want power to be in an extreme abundance, because I think it doesn't serve very well to them making money on various things. You know what I mean? Like if power were just easily like in abundance, like it was easily accessible and in abundance, people could get it very, very cheap. You wouldn't have to pay. Basically, you'd almost have to not even pay for the fucking shit, because it was so cheap that it couldn't even be subsidized by our taxes. Our taxes would just pay for our power, and you wouldn't even have to pay for that.
Right, we just have it like water.
Yeah, essentially, like it could be so abundant. It's to that degree. Like there's so many different things that I feel like we could do that we don't do because it's not profitable, which is sick. Like desalination of water, right? We have so much water on this fucking planet, but desalination is so expensive that we go, no, we're not going to do that. You know what I mean?
We could probably figure it out, right?
We would figure it out if we had to. If it got to the point where, we needed to do that and the most important thing was the water and not the money, we'd do it. Sure, we'd do it. But right now, the most important thing is always the money. But if we got to a point, with humanity that we didn't worry about money anymore, like money wasn't the driving force, all kinds of shit would change. Like just like I just said about power even.
Art agrees. I agree with the feel of driving a vehicle. For those that have driven standard, this really is it.
Yeah.
Sadly, less standard vehicles are now manufactured. Yeah, I've never driven standard.
Yeah, see, you need to drive a standard vehicle, and you know what I mean.
I've always wanted a Mustang.
When you drive, like, my ex-brother-in-law had probably still has a 5-liter Mustang stick. Holy fuck, man! I couldn't even get that thing out of third, like, because it's too fast. Yeah. Like, it would be first, second, and third. First, second, third, like that quick. Vroom, 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 and I'd be fucking doing 60. Like, the thing was too quick. And the whole back end is fishing and shit. Yeah. It was fun, though. It was like, fuck, you're driving that thing. You're like, this thing is fucking crazy. And then even like a stick, when you're just driving a stick, even if it's whether it's a fast vehicle or not, you're driving a stick, it's just, you feel like you're controlling that car. You're doing things to control that car. Cars are getting so weird now that, like, even because I have to move them all the time where I'm at. Fuck, today, I got one goes in and out of gear like this. There's a knob on it. You turn the knob. Drive, reverse. It's literally on the dash like this, and you just turn the knob. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is garbage.
It's more convenient.
Yeah, well,
though.
sure.
So it's like I said, like I feel like we're going in a direction where like you go to work in the morning, right? You get up, you get in your Tesla or whatever it is, and it drives you to work, and you have your coffee and your breakfast
because you're going to work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it takes you home, and then on the the you pull out your Mustang and you go for a fun.
I agree with that. I would,
because most of our driving is like out of necessity, and to make that much simpler and automated and just functionally like more efficient.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with that. The commute,
and then it's better for the environment, right? If people are only really driving those, like,
you'd have a commuter.
You'd
have a commuter. What's he saying now? What's Artie saying?
This is a water-bearing land will be an important resource. Speculators have begun the process of buying land with water because of scarcity of water. Mm-hmm. I mean,
if you ever,
I think I saw an article. We're just getting in the start of like the dry season, and California's already like low.
Yeah. So you know what they're calling water? They've been calling now for a bunch of years.
Wet gold,
blue gold,
blue gold,
blue gold. Yeah. So like people are investing in water essentially, or like water futures essentially, right? Because the idea that if by 2050
water.
Well, I don't know. Well, you will be able to. So, okay.
You
so
will,
I have a funny story. I don't know if I ever told you this. Back in 2000, I worked for, 99, I should say. I worked for a company called the News Group. And we had a warehouse in Burlington that this company, Graphics Transportation or something like that, they bought a bunch of space off of us in the warehouse that we didn't really need. So they were like basically renting about 50% of our warehouse. You know what they were storing in it? Water.
Yeah.
Literally.
Wow.
Like fucking skids and skids and skids. There was probably, with no exaggeration, 1,000 skids of water, of packs of bottled water, because they thought there was going to be a fucking shortage in the year 2000. So this is in 99 and
was
2000.
This a Y2K thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they had all these things. So it was funny because after nothing happened. Y2K happened. All of a sudden they started clearing it because they're paying for this fucking space.
They should have held on to it for a couple more decades, maybe.
Just a few more decades, and it'd be all right. But see what I mean? Like speculation is a funny thing. Like right now we're speculating that water is going to be a big shortage. I don't think so.
We can solve that problem.
I think we could solve.
I mean, it's not going to be a shortage here. We got like all the fresh water here.
The whole planet is full of water. We just have to take the salt out of it, which we know we can.
Yeah.
So
we'll have factories doing that at some point, probably.
Of course, we'd have desalinization plants everywhere, just taking fucking salt out of water and pumping the water. You'd have pipelines just the same as you have pipelines for natural gas and oil. You'd have a fucking water pipeline, and you just get around, and people just take the water, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we can do anything we really want in those regards, but there's no money in it, so we choose not to do it. It's until we get off this whole profiteering bullshit and we move into betterment of society. If government would move back to sort of governing and doing things that are better for us as opposed to just trying to control us more, take more of our money, then we'd probably do a lot better.
Yeah, that's optimistic.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean,
that's unrealistic. We'd be better off just getting rid of government entirely and seeing what formed. My God. Doing full anarchy.
Imagine if that happened. Oh, that'd be rough times for a while.
Do you think?
Oh, 100%.
I don't know.
Because there are a shit ton of bad players out there that would try and fill that vacuum.
Yeah,
you'd have organized bad fucking parties.
Yeah, but at least you'd have a chance, maybe at like a not bad faith thing.
I think you'd have. Like, have you ever seen a movie where
everything would divide up more?
Well, yeah, you'd see all these gated communities with all the rich, and they would all just conglomerate together, and they'd have all like heavy security. They have armies that would fucking protect, and then you'd have the slums. Everybody else just trying to live and survive in the slums. People would be killing each other like fucking crazy.
Be like
I want your watch.
Be like Elysium. You have the space.
Yeah. I want your watch. My dad gave me this watch. Stab.
All right.
Now I'm taking your watch. Fuck you. You just bleed out in the street. Because people really I wouldn't say people, but there are a certain amount of people that really don't give a shit about anybody else.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And society keeps us in check.
Yeah, that's actually probably better than better transition than I was hoping for this story.
Good at that,
Netflix has changed course. It seems in their latest I forget what it's called, but their latest sort of employee sort of release. The Netflix culture memo is what it's called, and they bluntly state, they're talking about streamer will not censor specific artists or voices, even if employees consider the content harmful, and bluntly states, if you find it hard to support our content breadth, Netflix may not be the best place for you. That's a hell of a turn.
It's a little late, but thank you for finally coming around.
Well,
it's a little late, but
hold on. You want to know maybe
it's
why
it's not overly late, I guess.
They're doing this. If this will come up.
Oh, because their shares.
They reported on their latest earnings a huge decline in users.
Wow.
I think it was like 2 million or something crazy, and the stock absolutely tanked. There it is.
This is over 6 months.
Three. No, I was just looking. I was just looking for the drop.
Oh.
I could probably go to the 1 month. And
But look at the drop over.
So they've been going down, but so is the entire market. So that's
true.
This is their earnings report. They go from $348.61 a share, instantly down to $226. All right, do the percentage.
Holy fuck.
40%.
Yeah.
Report your earnings. Boom, you're down 40%, and they're even more down since then. They're currently trading at 187.64.
So they've basically halved their shares. They're down
more than that.
60% almost.
More than that. What's their all-time? Their all-time high is like 645 to 187.
Fuck.
So they're down
75%.
massive from their all-time high. And a part of the reason for this is their push of like woke content, right? This push for, just putting wokeness in their stuff and censoring stuff that isn't woke. And what happens? You get woke, go broke, right? The old saying. It's been around for a while. And now
it's already saying that.
Now they're suffering. Oh, you just talked about deep state would not allow it when he's talking about the thing. But
well, good. You know what? We need more of this kind of shit.
That's the real pressure, right? The real pressure of the world.
Well, we need more of that shit. We need more where big companies are stepping out and saying, all right, okay, well, you know what? We thought something worked, but it's not. Nobody's into this.
Well, the financial ramifications of you pushing your policy leads to now you're going to have to change your policies. Now you're going to have to maybe not be so stubborn about what you put out there.
I think a lot of that let's say apathy, if you will, for this bullshit. For this,
I think we've talked about this before,
Yeah,
where we're bringing up how these companies are doing woke stuff, but the market will sort it out or something.
Yeah,
and this is that happening. This is like they think they can get away with it, maybe because they think that these are popular things, and it's like, oh, it's not popular. Oh, people are leaving. Oh, our stock price is down 75%.
You guessed wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
we're gonna have to make some changes.
It's always a guess. It's always a guess, though. Like, if you're trying to do that, if you're trying to like Rogan talks about that with himself when he's saying, I don't read any of this shit because I don't want to be affected by it. He just keeps doing his thing. That's why he's popular. If he were to like try and keep going the way the wind blows, he's like, oh, they're saying this now, and I might lose my popularity because they're saying this about me. Oh, and then you're gonna pick wrong. Eventually, you're gonna pick wrong. But if you just stay sort of the course of what you do, and you don't really worry about the white noise, what's going on, the people that like you or like your content, or they're just gonna come to you.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're going wishy washy, you're trying to dance on both lines.
You're trying to.
The people that like you one day are gonna dislike you another day, and those same people that disliked you at first, that maybe start to sway to like you. When you sway back the other way, they're going to dislike you. So eventually you're left with nothing. Because they're all going to be like, oh, that's flaky bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what this person...
that's what happened to CNN, right?
Yeah.
now nobody watches. Nobody cares what CNN says.
Because they used to go on this whole thing, the most trusted name in news and all this shit. And like, if CNN had come out and said, hey, you know what? We have an agenda.
They did
We're biased.
They I don't know if it was like an article, press release or something that they put out recently where they're like, we're gonna veer away from opinion based stuff.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to clean house with all of their
of course
staff, all their journalists. They'd have to like restart from scratch.
Like Tucker Carlson's doing fine. He's opinion based shit. The
But
difference
it's different.
The difference with his opinion based
Tucker
shit
doesn't
is,
come out and say like, oh well, you know, this is the facts, 100% the facts, and nothing but the facts, and whatever I say is truth, right? Like I speak truth pure. Yeah. He comes out and says, "Well, here's what I think is going on, and here's what I like see."
The way I frame it, or the way I like that he frames it, is he'll ask like he'll say like he phrases it in like a question. He'll be like, "Shouldn't we know this, or shouldn't this happen?" And he frames it in that regard. So you look at it and you go, "Well, yeah, like I'd like to know that." Like if you're talking about hot button topics like voter fraud and stuff like that, and he'll say, "Well, shouldn't we be able to ask questions?" Like anybody who's sensible would say, "Yeah, well, of course we should." Like if I can't ask you a question, if I give you my credit card, and I'm like, "Here, go buy this XYZ," and then you come back with my credit card, and I go, "Oh, did you buy?" And you go, "No, don't ask me. Don't ask me what I spent.
Don't ask me that.
Don't ask me what I spent.
Yeah,
your money on. Don't ask me what
that
I.
Question
don't ask me for receipts. You want receipts?
Yeah,
I'm offended.
Yeah.
Like,
frankly,
shouldn't I be able to fucking know that? Like, nobody would ever look at you with a logical person would say, "You shouldn't know what I just spent." They'd be like, "Oh no, here's the receipts," right?
Yeah.
So that's all he's asking for when he's saying anything. He's like, "Just give me the fucking receipts. Just show me the receipts."
Yeah, let's be as transparent as possible about what's happening so we can form it. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
No.
We're
gonna keep this
racist.
To ourselves. Yeah, you're a racist.
That's racist. You asked for that. That's
you're
racist.
Against democracy.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to be transparent.
You're a racist against democracy, white supremacist. That's what you are.
I'm against democracy.
You know what you are? You know what you are? Who knows? I did it again.
Yeah, that was it. If you look at the top where the thing is,
whatever.
It's a black screen right now.
Either we're talking to ourselves or we're talking to people. Who knows?
Well, I have the live stream up on my phone right now.
Whatever.
It's a black screen. Okay, yeah, it came back. It's fine.
Yeah.
And it bridged, so it didn't separate like last time, which is, I guess we're still good.
Yeah, we're still good.
That really okay. Let's.
I have no segue. Into
let's just go right into Bitcoin.
Segue. No segue. Oh,
it's Bitcoin.
Artie's watching.
It's a good episode for Art to be here.
He loves Bitcoin.
Is Bitcoin over or completely discredited? Because I think there's a very good argument to make that Bitcoin is completely discredited now. I mean, we had a big market crash this week,
and it correlated right with it.
Plummeted right down.
Well, remember I said that
under 30K.
Yeah,
under 30.
That's cyclical. It's inevitable to happen. It's driven by fears of interest rates rising and all kinds of stuff. But people always have to live somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
just maybe don't buy a house right now.
Yeah, well, maybe don't buying a house over the last like couple of years has probably been a bit sketch.
Yeah.
I mean, I got
lucky.
about
a year ago, you were good.
I got like a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
or almost 2 years ago, I got lucky with this one, but
the value could go down below
Sure.
to what you paid for in the next.
But it doesn't
year.
matter. Does it matter?
No.
Right. If
Maybe.
you're gonna sell it, it matters.
Yeah.
But like your a fixed asset, you realize, or like your like wherever you live or whatever, it really doesn't matter. Like the value, its current value only matters if you're selling it.
Yeah.
You know, it's if somebody told me this property's worth $1 tomorrow, I'd be like, oh, all right, well, whatever. It's still worth a lot more than that to me, because I have somewhere to live and I have somewhere to do all the things I want to do. And you know what I mean? So that's where I say property has a value that can't really sort of be taken away. It can be fucked with a little
bit. It has
bit.
an intrinsic value.
Exactly.
And it's but the whole thing here is Bitcoin completely discredited.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I don't know.
I
I don't know what to say to that.
I think there's an argument
Already weigh in.
I think there's an argument to be made that it is.
So do I.
That it's completely over.
At this point, I think you'd have to argue. You'd have to make a
you
good
had a
argument
major like at first.
against it.
At
for me.
first, right?
Yeah.
Like when we've talked about it before, you didn't really have a major market move. So it correlated with the market is like, it's a little sketchy. It's signaling the wrong things, right? It's maybe suggesting that it's not what they're saying it is.
Yeah.
Then you get a major market crash and Bitcoin goes right down along with it. That just seems to me to be like, okay, that's like the death blow. That's like, it's not going to function the way that they're saying it is, and it's just maybe not the best. It's maybe not the best thing to put your money into. There was, do you know KSI on YouTube? He fought Logan Paul in a boxing match.
Yeah. I was gonna say I know the.
So